Mitsubishi has been around for over 150 years. Today, Lloyd from Crown Mitsubishi has given us the 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage Carbonate Edition. Body styling is going to be refreshed from the exterior. It's going to have a racier styling look with this body kit because of the edition we have. You're going to get upgrades in your standard safety, rework standard technology. But you know, the best part about it, it's a budget-friendly vehicle with a sporty image, and that's what you're getting when you're looking at this Mitsubishi. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and we're going to go over all the specs and details, starting now. The Mitsubishi Mirage has been around since 1978 when it was a three-door hatchback. What we're getting today is going to have some updates in the fascia. A large grille with the pinstripes that integrate into that three-diamond emblem, and the red is just going to stress the confidence, yet a thrilling color choice, especially against the gloss black. You're going to get that Carbonate Edition pattern. It's going to be on the lower spoiler. You're also getting the pinstripe there as well. The chrome in between here and everything, the way it's set up, it just really functions as a sporty hip car for today's time. So I do like where they're going with it. You're going to get new halogen headlights. The hood, it's more flat, not too long, and you don't need something that's going to go over the top. It's a small vehicle, the width at 65.6 inches and a height of 59.4 inches. Ground clearance at 6.3 inches, so you don't have to worry about going over any speed bumps. And a nice fact about this vehicle is in 1992, Mitsubishi introduced the variable valve timing engine. It was the Mirage. We're set with a new wheel design for 2021. We have the 14-inch aluminum alloy wheels. You can opt for a 15-inch wheel. They do have ventilated brakes in the front, drum in the rear. It's a McPherson front strut suspension, a Torsen beam rear suspension. That carbonate package is going to come into the side in the B-pillar right between the windows, and on the lower trim, you'll get that racing red that's on the lower and the pinstripe down the side. A little bit of a European twist. You have your turn signal in the front fenders. So I do kind of like what they're going with. It's a little bit more simple, but in the interior is where it's really at for this particular vehicle. It's a budget-friendly vehicle that you can put 5 people in cargo, which you'll see when we get into the interior. As for the side specs, everything is going to be a little bit more standard. You will have your lower roof spoiler and LED taillights and stoplights, which I wish they integrated that for the headlight assembly. Chrome on the top of the housing, high gloss around it, so it does give a little bit of attention to detail. I like the fact that we finally see the badging for the Carbonate Edition. They don't put it anywhere else, so it kind of makes it look a little lost, because on the side you would expect a little bit more of a flair, because the rear and the front I feel has that sporty heritage. It's just on the side they kind of went a little bit more bland. You do have your diffuser here, and you also have the side Carbonate Edition as well with that pinstripe. If you're considering a smaller hatchback, this kind of sets out through the bang, because when you're looking at it from the rear, it looks like it's a faster car than it is. Going inside to your cargo at 17.1 cubic feet with the spare tire, the rear bench split folds at a 60-40 fold, maxing your cargo to 86.2 cubic feet. Mitsubishi powers the Mirage with a 1.2-liter 3-cylinder, producing 78 horsepower and 74 pound-feet of torque. That's paired to a CVT transmission. You can opt for a 5-speed manual, achieving 36 to 43 mpgs. A 0 to 60 is going to range between 10.6 and 10.9 seconds roughly. Top speed around 100 to 105 miles per hour with a curb weight at 2,095 pounds. When you opt for the 5-speed, that ups it to 3,020 pounds. This does go against your Chevrolet Spark, and that's 98 horsepower. Both of them under 100 horsepower, but you got to think about the weight. You also have to think about how much cargo and space you have in the interior. The exterior, I like the front and the rear. Just the side I feel was a little bit bland, but comparing it against those, I would probably opt for this if I was looking for a budget-friendly vehicle, just because it has that sporty flair. But we'll see how it is in the interior and the drive subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you think of the exterior of the 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage Carbonate Edition. As we go into the interior, go over the tech, and take this for our test run. Entering inside the Mitsubishi Mirage, you're going to be getting 39 inches of headroom, 41.7 inches of legroom. It's black cloth seats, 6-way manual adjustment for the driver, 4-way manual adjustment for the passenger. It's going to be more of a basic interior. They do offer a fast key push button start. We don't have that. Also heated front seats and a leather wrap steering wheel with a leather shift knob. We don't have those features. This is going to be a little bit more base with the sporty design on the exterior. The dash, it's going to be pretty simple as well. It looks like it would be a 2-tier. It's not. The center cluster is going to have a 7-inch smartphone linked display, 4 speakers. You get Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, you get AM, FM, and your Bluetooth connectivity. The gloss black encases it. You'll have more of the matte black on the sides. I wish this area wasn't here, but I get it because the trim level that you're in. The steering wheel, it's multi-function. You got the Mitsubishi badging in the center. The gauge cluster is going to be your basic type of gauge cluster. In the center here, cup holders, you could easily fit a 16.9 ounce water bottle. I would say a 20 is max. You got a 12 volt, you got a USB. The gear shifter area is a silver plated shift knob. So I do like that they put that around that. Pretty cool. And you also have a handbrake. So that is pretty nice to see that in this type of car because it's a hatchback at the end of the day. Opening up in here, and if it folds all the way out to get one cup holder to the rear, and it's pretty deep storage space as well. So it kind of works out on both perimeters. As for the elbows, because it's more of a standard car, it's going to be even hard here. It's going to feel like books. Nothing around that. The door panel will have this golf ball texture, one touch up and down for the front window. Storage, though, you can fit probably 3 to 4 16.9 ounce water bottles. The seats kind of sit upright a little bit, so you do feel cocooned. Leg space is not too bad, but it feels more like a boat in the front of this, the way it's just set up. But again, comparing this to the Chevrolet Spark, I think it's pretty much spot on for the money for what you're working with. Let's check out the back seats. For the back seats, I'm at 37.2 inches of headroom, 34.2 inches of legroom. The seat in the position I'd be sitting, I'm pretty much against it. There's nothing of storage. You do have that cup holder, like I was saying. You can fit about a 20-ounce water bottle. It's a 16.9 ounce water bottle. There's no armrest here as well. Door panel, you got that harder texture. There's no storage. You do have the speakers, so that way you can hear the sound system even in the rear. The way everything is shaped, it's really bubbled, so if I move just a little bit, I'm hitting the headliner. I have to kind of sit inwards, but the floor, it has enough leg space. It's not completely flat. Let's see how I look in the center. Sitting into the center, headroom's not going to be any issue because of the bubble structure that it does. For leg space, however, I moved the passenger seat all the way back. I'm completely against it. The seat in the position I'd be sitting, I'm completely against it. I left the cup holder down so you could really see that it's going to take a lot of real estate. Can you fit 3 people? My dimensions, yes. Just for a long journey, it's not going to be very fun. And even sitting 2 in the back seat, what I would recommend is kind of scoot over a little bit. The belt buckle will have to kind of move, so you might have a little bit of an issue there, but for the most part, you sit a little bit more comfortable. It's more at, I would say, almost a 90-degree angle the way you sit. Taking the 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage out on our test run, 78 horsepower. It's a smaller engine, but it's not very heavy as well. There is some heavy compartments though, like when you try to adjust the steering wheel, it is a little bit heavier than you would anticipate. As for speed, CVT transmission, it does what it needs to do. We're gonna check the turn radius real quick and then really see how that dynamics is. The turn radius of the vehicle is excellent from the projected numbers though. So you're gonna get about 2 lanes and giving it full gas. And I mean, it hovers and gets up to speed, so it does exactly what it needs to do, more or less. Red light, green light. We got it into DS, which is the sport mode of the vehicle. We're giving it some gas. It is going. We're passing traffic. It's gonna get extremely loud. There's no dual pane windows. You pretty much feel almost like a go-kart. It feels kind of playful the way it drives. And as for the visibility, you can see everything as well. Brakes in the car, like you saw, it's not a big deal. It does make like a little bit of a howling noise, but you got the drum brakes for the rear. As for blind spot, you don't have any blind spot monitoring, but the vehicle, come on guys, it's very small. So I mean, you can just turn your head. As for driving it normal, you're gonna still be almost racing it. I would say about 3 to 4 RPMs is gonna be hovering to get the vehicle up to speed. It's gonna be a lot noisier, But again, this is a practical, everyday use car. It's fairly inexpensive. You can get it for this one because of the specs. It's going to touch about the $20,000 price point, which it's really hard to find a car underneath $20,000, and Mitsubishi actually offers that as long as you don't get this edition package added to it. Now, there is 3 things I like and 3 things that I dislike. Is anything more than that, I'd be buying this vehicle. The 3 things that I like about it is it gives you the tech. So you get all the technology that you need. You don't have navigation. However, you got your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, so you're taken care of. The exterior, I like how sporty it is for the front and the rear. The side, I feel that they just kind of forgot about it. But the front looks a lot more aggressive than the car actually projects, even with the numbers or even, you know, pushing the gas pedal yourself. And the third thing that I like about the vehicle is you have enough cargo capacity to fit every single thing inside the vehicle. 3 things that I dislike about the vehicle: when you sit at idle or you're just trying to go in and out of traffic, you feel a lot of vibration in the car. Even the cameras bounce quite a bit, so the suspension isn't necessarily the most forgiving either. I know it sounds like 2 things, so we'll just put it as 1. The second thing that I dislike is how noisy it is. They really didn't do anything to block out the noise. The windows are a lot thinner than I would have imagined as well, and I get it, it's a smaller vehicle and we have to cut corners here and there because the price point is so inexpensive. The third thing that I dislike is at least give 100 horsepower. The engine, it's sufficient, realistically speaking. It's just when you throw a CVT transmission on anything, it makes it very complicated for the vehicle to really get up to speed, and you're constantly having to give it a heavy foot to get it going. But if you're looking for an everyday vehicle that gets you to point A to point B and you're trying to get away from an electric vehicle, I would say this is definitely a good alternative because you're going to get great gas consumption. We're going to take this back to Crown Mitsubishi, go over the reverse camera, and wrap this review up. Switching to reverse, the lines do not move, but it is a pretty clean screen, and I mean, it's a small vehicle, but it does make it very easy for your reversing. I'd like to thank Lloyd here at Crown Mitsubishi for giving us this 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage for our car review. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Hawkeye community. If not, click that subscribe button. Check out the details, the merchandise, and everything we do here at Hawkeye Rides.